guys, welcome to the new vlog. Today is a very good day because we have a McLaren which I'm really excited about. Thanks to McLaren Bahrain, they've been very generous. I've had it for 3 full days, so this is the last day. I'm taking it back today. So I've had the last 2 days to really get a good feel for the car, drive it around. I've been taking it home every evening, driving it to the office, and I've got to say, I love it and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So let's not hang around, let's get on the road and show you what this car is all about. This is McLaren's GT, which stands for Grand Tourer, which compared to a lot of their other cars, it's supposed to be the car, I don't know if the term is drive it if you would say you drive it every day, but it's supposed to be the more, well, less aggressive in terms of how it looks and how it feels. It's a lot more comfortable compared to the other McLarens. Driving it, and I've had it for 2.5 days now, I've got to say, I could drive this car every single day. It absolutely flies when you put the foot down. Not only that, but the sound it makes. I don't even want to try and describe and make the sound that it makes because I'll sound like an idiot. I absolutely love the gear shifters, I think they call them flappy paddles. They're aluminium, so normally they're made of plastic, but the feel just feels so nice. It is really cool because with one hand you can shift down and you can shift up with the one hand. And now we're feeling a little low on energy, so we're gonna do the usual coffee stop at my favorite place. Can we have a drum roll, please? Oh yes. That is right, we are going to Starbucks. Oh yeah! So, the coffee test. McLaren have done it well, because it's not hidden, it's right here. And what's good about this one? It has the adjustable thingy things, is what I call them. So it firmly grips onto your coffee, doesn't sort of jiggle around. It's which is great if you've got a different size mug or a cup. Here you have these 2 really cool slits, one for the driver, one for the passenger, where you can just slot your phone. And then also we have in here another space where you can chuck your wallet, or in 2020 a face mask as well, which goes everywhere that you travel now. And there's also a bit of space behind where I've actually got my meal bag, which I've chucked behind there. So there's this bit of space where you can maybe chuck a bag behind you. And we'll also just jump out shortly and show about the boot space, because there's a huge boot space behind me which can hold, I think he said, 2 sets of golf clubs, and there's also a boot space in the front. So in terms of cargo space and boot space, there is a lot for a car like this, which I was quite surprised with. You've got the sun guards and you have the little vanity mirror. And they still have the stickers on, which shows how new this car is. And McLaren have allowed me, Charlie Cooksey, to remove the stickers on the vanity mirrors. Are you ready for this? This isn't a new iPhone, this is a brand new McLaren. Voila! We've also got a big, sexy display screen or infotainment system, which I've been playing around with the last couple of days, and I'm really impressed with it. It's laid out almost like a phone, and it also responds like a phone in terms of, let's say for example we go into navigation, how smooth it is when you move around and zoom in and zoom out. It's like that of an iPhone or a Samsung. Super responsive. This also is very new, and I've been given the pleasure, I'm sorry, but I'm really enjoying doing this. I've been given the pleasure, because it's not an iPhone, this is a McLaren we're talking about. I've been given the pleasure of peeling this off, so shall we? Oh yeah. So overall, I love the interior, really impressed. Comfortable, solid, efficient storage, but let's talk about some of the cons and some of the things that I don't like and maybe would see as negatives. Being in this region, you do have to fiddle around with the AC a bit, because sometimes you're hot, then sometimes you're cold. I like it when I can just quite easily turn it down and turn it up without having to look. But with this, to turn up and down the fan, you've got to press the fan, and then you've got to press these tiny little buttons to turn it up and turn it down, which when you're driving around, it's almost like you have to stop to be able to do that, because you've really got to check the screen to make sure you're pressing the right buttons. So that's something that I'm finding a bit annoying. Another thing that I don't like so much about the interior, or actually I'll be honest, I really don't like, is this. Everything in the interior is of a high spec, and then we have this sort of cheap looking and feeling plastic rear view mirror. I don't know why they decided to go with this, but I know it's something small, but I feel like you have everything is top quality in this car, and then you have this cheap, almost Ford-like rear view mirror. So that could be upgraded. Another thing that has come very evident driving this car for a few days, it drinks petrol like there's no tomorrow. The fuel, I picked it up with 3/4 of a tank. Halfway through the second day, like, yes, I've done a bit of driving. Halfway through the second day, it was almost completely gone, so I had to go and fill it up. But then what do you expect for a car like this with an engine like this? It does get through a lot of fuel. And the other thing, the indicator here which tells you how many kilometers you have left, right now it says I've got 70, but for that same amount it could jump up to 180 within the space of a few minutes, because depending on how much you're accelerating and how much power you're using, it's only accurate to the moment. Doesn't work out like a clear average. I'm finding it will say 70 kilometers and then it will say 200 kilometers. It just sort of jumps around, because with a car like this, one minute you're driving like a normal person, and then another minute you're sort of accelerating, and that just rinses through a lot of fuel. So it's not the most fuel efficient car in the market. But then again, who buys a McLaren for fuel efficiency? This is for fun, and this is for blasting around. So I just wanted to show you guys the key up close, because I think the key is an important part of the car. So it's actually very slim and small, and obviously the colour of the key is Pantone matched to the car itself. I just want to talk about the doors itself. I think that's a really important feature with how they open, because they don't open like traditional doors, they open like the Gullwing doors and they come upwards. But the way you do it is you push this in, you put your hand here, and you lift it up. And I just think it's so cool. When you show someone this car for the first time, you do that. Awesome. Space at the front, so we'll open that. And McLaren have been pretty generous with the amount of space. We've got a decent amount of space here. I've got my gym bag here. There's some other McLaren essentials. I could easily fit another 2 or 3 bags, or enough, you know, a week of grocery shopping in there. We have enough here, space for 2 sets of golf clubs, or even a luggage holder or some other bags that you can put here. They have the strap so you can hold it in place, because otherwise if you slam the brakes on, it can go straight through to the front of the car. Closing the boot also is really straightforward. We just press the button here and voila, it shuts. How could I forget to possibly talk about the sound system of this car? It is equipped with a Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is awesome. I've been playing around with it the last couple of days. When you're putting on something with a lot of bass and house and techno, it sounds incredible. But, as I always say in cars like this, I don't like listening to music when I drive. Why? There is no music that sounds better than that. That is a wrap. We've had 3 full days with this car, and I've got to say I am so impressed, especially after having this much time of getting a feel for and driving the car. I'm so impressed. I almost don't want to give it back, as I always feel this way after I've had a bit of time driving a car like this. So to wrap this up, I am super impressed with this car. I love it, I love it, I love it. There are a few things which I obviously have some comments about, but on the whole, it's probably one of the favourite supercars that I've driven to date. McLaren GT, I love you so much, and thank you to McLaren Bahrain for letting us make this happen, and I look forward to many more car reviews with McLaren. Stay tuned.